Hello and welcome. This is Nationwide, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. My name is Justin Bemunyi. The 11th session of the Nigeria South Africa Binational Commission, BNC, is currently ongoing in Cape Town, South Africa. The session is being co-chaired by host President Cyril Ramaphosa and President Bola Tinubu. At the opening, both leaders harped on the need to improve on the existing bilateral and trade relations between the two countries. President Bola Tinubu praised that the Binational Commission must be strengthened to intensify the spirit of collaborations and cooperations that would also engender greater prosperity for the continent. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, will be taking over an estate in Abuja containing 753 units of duplexes and other apartments following a ruling of final assets forfeiture by Justice Jude Nwogwezi of an FCT High Court sitting in Abuja. Tokwe Alabi reports that the assets, according to the anti-graft agency, belong to a top brass of government who is under investigation for alleged corrupt practices.
In a release by EFCC's head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, Justice Jude Nwogwezi of an FCT High Court in Abuja on Monday, December 2, 2024, gave a ruling on a final forfeiture of an estate in Abuja measuring 150,500 square meters and containing 753 units of duplexes and other apartments. This, according to the release, is the single largest asset recovery by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The estate rests on plot 109 Cadastral Zone, C09, Lokogoma District, Abuja, and the forfeiture of the property to the federal government by a former top brass of the government was pursuant to EFCC's mandate and policy directive of ensuring that the corrupt and fraudulent do not enjoy the proceeds of their unlawful activities. In this instance, the Commission relied on Section 17 of the Advanced Free Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act No. 14, 2006 and Section 44, subsection 2b of the 1999 Constitution as amended to push its case. Ruling on the Commission's application for the final forfeiture of the property, Justice Nwogwezi held that the respondent has not shown cause as to why he should not lose the property, which has been reasonably suspected to have been acquired with proceeds of unlawful activities. The release noted the road to the final forfeiture of the property was paved by an interim forfeiture order secured before the same judge on November 1, 2024. And the government official named withheld fraudulently built the estate is being investigated by the EFCC, and the forfeiture of the assets is an important modality of depriving the suspect of the proceeds of the crime in line with Part 2, Section 7 of the EFCC Establishment Act. The EFCC statement on the matter emphasized due process was followed in respect of the forfeiture, and the recovery of the assets represents a milestone in the annals of EFCC operation and infallible proof of the commitment of President Bola Tinubu to the anti-corruption war. Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Now, an early morning fire outbreak has razed down more than 35 shops at a popular shopping district in Damaturu, the Yobe state capital. The actual cause of the incident is yet to be ascertained. However, some residents suspect power surge at about 3 a.m. Personnel of the Yobe State Fire Service rushed to the scene and put out the fire to avoid further escalation to nearby shops and houses. They mobilized and arrived at the scene after receiving distress calls from some residents who raised alarm after discovering flames coming out from the affected shops. Fire outbreaks are frequently occurring during Harmattan season in this part of the country and mostly affecting markets and residential areas. Now, child labor experts from ECOWAS countries have agreed to collectively review child labor activities in each country with established data to guide efforts in eradicating child and forced labor in the region. Joseph Oten reports that this was part of resolutions at the end of the ECOWAS child labor experts meeting in Abuja, organized by the International Labour Organization and ECOWAS.
It's been a week of engagement for these advocates of child labor as they review and share experiences in child and forced labor in the West African countries. The interface is against the backdrop of increasing rates of child labor in the region, with more than 50% of children aged 5 to 17 reported to be involved in child labor.
We're able to agree on an accountability framework that will allow us to really coordinate and synchronize our efforts, especially in data collection, so that we are able to narrate a much more coherent and coordinated story as far as our efforts are concerned.
Agriculture is identified as a major culprit, amounting to about 85% of children in child labor.
We see a child working in agriculture. We share experience each country about how we are doing, what we are doing, and how we are compromised with this problem.
But there are certain clear things you need to establish. One, the child's age. Two, the environment within which the child is working, the tools the child is working with, the duration, the time within which the child is working. And so for Ghana, that is one peculiar thing. Children working in tricycles, in the transport services, and children working in illegal mining.
With commitment backed by legal framework and enforcement, the child rights advocates believe many children will be saved to develop their full potential and access education to become future drivers of development in the society. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Now, Nigeria says it has demonstrated the will to promote justice and end terrorism among other global crimes, calling on all state parties to ratify the convention and cluster munitions, of which use causes widespread suffering and hinders peace building and humanitarian efforts. The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, at the 23rd session of the Assembly of States Parties to the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court, ICC, at The Hague, Netherlands, protested prolonged investigation of the Nigerian military by Office of the Prosecutor at the International Criminal Court, even when an independent special investigative panel by the National Human Rights Commission found no evidence on alleged killings, torture, and recruitment of underage fighters by Nigerian military made by Reuters. Leader of the Nigerian delegation, while expressing the country's commitment to confront impunity, hold perpetrators accountable and restore justice for victims, noted that the preliminary examination into alleged crimes in Nigeria had lasted 14 years and was demoralizing to the servicemen. The minister emphasized that Nigeria, as a responsible state party to the Rome Statute, had consistently engaged with the Office of the Prosecutor and demonstrated its military adherence to international humanitarian law, reintegrating 4,000 former Boko Haram combatants into society. He expressed concern about terrorist groups' apologist activities parading as civil society organizations who make unsubstantiated allegations in order to undermine legitimate efforts of the Nigerian Armed Forces. Now we take you to Lagos, where Engineer is standing by for more reports.
Thank you, Justin, and welcome to Lagos. The federal government says it is putting modalities in place for the sustainable quality education in the country to build a better future for Nigeria. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa gave the assurance while on a fact-finding visit to Queen's College, Lagos. Adeola Komiakere reports.
Improved quality of education is one of the top priority areas of the present administration, aimed at fostering youth empowerment and engagement in nation building. The visit to Queen's College, Yaba, Lagos, was an early morning and unscheduled one. Minister of Education Tunji Alausa, who was received by the principal of the college, Oyidamola Obabori, explained that the quality of teaching staff, facilities, and the school environment were the reasons for the visit to ensure standards are complied with. He also said allegations surrounding his fact-finding mission on the actual number of students on admission have been disproved.
3,800 was far below the 7,000 number that I had. Of course, because it's QC, everybody wants to send King's College, everybody wants to send their children here. We have to find a way to improve our capacity to increase the number of boarding at the dorm.
From the minister's interaction with students and staff of the college after touring facilities within the premises, basic needs identified include additional classrooms, hostels, and a befitting library.
I'm happy. Despite the infrastructure decay that we've seen around, the quality on very, very good. Mechanism in place also have a sustainable process to rehabilitation.
The visit is part of ongoing reforms of government to reposition unity schools across the country. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Implementation, monitoring and enforcement of Nigeria's Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act of 2018 will not only restore hope to persons with disabilities, but will also ensure their full integration into the society. This was the opinion of stakeholders while reacting to challenges facing persons with disabilities and the way out. Bolaji Akim completes the story.
Odunola has a hearing impairment. She had a level playing ground during a sporting competition where she exhibited admirable prowess. Her outstanding performance earned her employment in the state civil service during the regime of Governor Raji Fashola. While she may be lucky, others with disabilities on a daily basis face various challenges ranging from discrimination, stigmatization, and more.
Time to get accommodation. We receive a lot of insults and face a lot of challenges.
She said she became deaf when she was child during the sickness, and because of lack of funds, the mother couldn't get the necessary care for her to get well from the sickness, and that has led to the disability she got now.
Bridging the communication gap and carrying along the Ministry of Education to make them aware about the deep and down of disabilities.
So many buildings are not accessible when we talk about accessibility. And it is one of the strongholds of that law that there should not be impediment for anybody with disability.
With the team amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future, stakeholders believe that holistic enforcement of the 2018 Disabilities Act will fully integrate persons with disabilities into the society. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA News.
Those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue in Abuja after the break.
Now, in the city of Abuja, the streets bear witness to a powerful declaration. Disability is not inability. Gufan Shaji Gwanyi reports that as Nigeria marks the 2024 International Day of Persons with Disabilities, the community came together to amplify their voices, assert their rights, and demand a more inclusive society.
The Road Show, a collaboration between the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and the Office of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Special Needs and Equal Opportunities, is a display of unity and solidarity. The message is clear: inclusion, accessibility, and equal opportunities for all.
We are working assiduously to create opportunities that would promote awareness, understanding, and inclusivity for persons with disabilities, and this year's event presents such opportunity for us as we seek to tap into the global effort to promote inclusive development.
We are going to empower persons with disability through assistive devices and cash to enhance their business. That is the essence of the day.
We are also interested in knowing when the PWDs do recruitment that at least 3% of their workforce are persons with disability.
Don't ever feel oppressed. Speak out, let your voice be heard. Don't ever feel intimidated.
The 2024 theme for the International Day of Persons with Disabilities is amplifying the leadership of persons with disabilities for an inclusive and sustainable future. In Abuja, Wufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
We're now being joined by the Chief Executive Officer and founder, TAF Africa, Jake Ekpele, to discuss more on the International Day of Persons with Disability 2024. Well, Mr. Jake, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Justin. Great to be here, and congratulations to over 30 million Nigerians who are persons with disability.
You're welcome. You're very much welcome. Now, in 1992, the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed December 3rd as the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Now, with the aim to promoting awareness to the global society on the challenging issues of persons with disability, and of course, to encourage their inclusion and empowerment. From your perspective, how far has these objectives been achieved in Nigeria?
Definitely, we've made some reasonable progress. We have been able to assert ourselves in governance, in economic sphere, and social circle. But there's still a lot to be done. And that's why I am in love with the theme of this year that focuses on leadership. As you know, everything rises and falls on leadership. And I think it's time for us to put our house together and galvanize every resources, including our potentials, to take the lead and ensure that our community of persons with disability is organized to take advantage of several interventions, either by government or development partners, to assert ourselves in making sure that we take advantage of quality education where it's necessary, quality healthcare, and even in the media space. I am always grateful how the Director General of NTA and the NTA family has shown tremendous interest in the affairs of persons with disability. I was watching the report that you just reeled out. I think it's one of the best reports on disability. But it's interesting, Justin, the theme of this year, what it encapsulates. You look at number one is leadership. Number two is inclusion. Number three, I think I even start with amplification of leadership, inclusion, sustainability, and the future. Those are powerful words that focuses on strategic advocacy that produces the results. So the future is bright. We are certainly not where we used to be, and definitely we are going somewhere.
Okay, now with over 1 billion people worldwide living with some form of disability, and of course 80% are in developing countries, including Nigeria. You know, this number is huge, but the good news is that, you know, Nigeria has made significant progress in promoting the rights of persons with disabilities. And as it passed the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. What is your view about this? How do you see this development?
Well, I've gone around the world, traveled a little bit around African countries, and I can tell you that the issue of inclusion of persons with disability in Nigeria, we are making very reasonable progress. Nigeria is ahead, and it will surprise you, even countries like South Africa don't have the level of advocacy that we have in the country today. And so it's just an opportunity to further amplify and strengthen every available institution to be inclusive, whether it's the electoral institution, whether it is the economic institution. I like the fact that your channel, you will be discussing issues around tax. And last night, I was part of the discussion on inclusive tax. So the opportunities abound.
Okay.
We will continue to scale up our not just advocacy, but intervention, every instrument of intervention, including inclusive media, which many organizations like yours have taken the lead.
Thank you so much. You know, the law also stipulates a 5-year transitional period for modifying public building structures and automobiles to make them accessible and usable for, you know, people with disabilities. Where are we in this regard?
We haven't made much progress, but I can tell you one very important giant stride is the awareness for this. Take, for instance, in the civil service, I want to say that individuals like Barrister Esther Walson-Jack, which is the current head of service, paid very, very interesting and reasonable attention to inclusivity, to the point that for the first time in civil service, she is working towards establishing a physical unit that will address issues of inclusivity, which means that appointment in the near future will meet the 5% standard. In terms of the private sector and the public sector implementation of this 5%, we haven't made much progress. Okay. But Justin, what gladdens me is the enthusiasm that I see both on the side of government and the private sector in giving opportunities to persons with disability when it comes to employment.
Okay, now, you know, additionally, you know, we don't have time. The law in Nigeria establishes a National Commission for Persons with Disabilities, which is responsible for ensuring that people with disabilities have access to housing, education, and healthcare. Now, let's share your views on this.
I think it's one of the best thing that happened to us, the establishment of the commission. And the commission is doing her best under the previous leadership, the present leadership. They are taking giant stride. The problem is that the commission herself is slightly under budgeted. And that's why this afternoon we had made a presentation to the Deputy Speaker and to everyone in charge of budgeting that there's a need to increase the budget of the commission so that they can deliver on their expected mandate. Not only government providing that budget, the private sector also should follow suit. Okay. We all need to work collectively so that we can get the expected result and take persons with disability to the desired
Thank you so much.
outcome.
Thank you so much, Jake Ekbele, the founder of Tough Africa. Thank you so much for your time with us and for joining us on Nationwide.
Thank you, Justin, and please give my love to the DG, who is a dear friend and one of the most inclusive media practitioners in the country.
Yeah, sure he will. He will get to know. Thank you so much for coming. Now, Senate has approved the 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper 2025 to 2027 are submitted by the federal government for implementation. The projections include 47.9 trillion naira proposed budget for 2025 out of which 16.4 trillion naira is for capital projects, while 14.2 trillion naira goes to recurrent expenditure. Projections on oil benchmark, daily production, quarter gross domestic product and exchange rate projections were also approved. Following observations by some legislators on the proposed naira to the dollar exchange rate projection at 1,400 naira to the dollar, in which they noted prevailing market rate of 1,700 naira to the dollar. Senate therefore approved that all excess to be channeled to debt servicing. Now, the House of Representatives has passed a resolution urging the President and the Minister of Finance to unfreeze the accounts of the National Social Investment Programs Agency for the reactivation of all social investment programs that were suspended. Adopting a motion sponsored by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu and 20 other lawmakers, the House is concerned that crucial social welfare and poverty alleviation programs have been dormant for more than 3 months following presidential directives. Lawmakers say this is taking a toll on poverty reduction initiatives as beneficiaries have been owed conditional cash transfers and small business grants that can cushion socio-economic challenges.
The Honorable Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy to ensure that all frozen accounts of the National Social Investment Program Agency are unfrozen within 72 hours to enable the smooth commencement of all the programs of NSEPA, and B, ensure the release of funds to NSEPA for the payment of outstanding stipends owed to 395,731 Empower beneficiaries nationwide.
I urge the president of this country to mandate the relevant authorities to unlock their warehouses across the country.
National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ekpen reports that lawmakers are also seeking urgent measures by the federal government towards addressing the spate of boat mishaps in the nation's waterways.
Of Marine and Blue Economy and the Ministry of Transport to conduct a thorough investigation into the recent boat mishaps in Nigeria, to provide insights and recommendations on improving maritime safety. Urge NIMASA and NIWA to enforce safety regulations and ensure compliance with international maritime standards.
Now, the story of Nigeria's natural resources does not have to remain the way it is, but on how they are managed to the benefit of citizens. This is the general view of stakeholders at the opening of the 4th quarterly meeting 2024 of the Nigeria Interreligious Council, NIREC, in Abuja. Ugochukwu Kauna has the details.
Warm handshakes, banters, signifying oneness as dignitaries welcome one another. And now to the business of the day, standing on the theme, Nigeria's natural resources and security.
May we be blessed with the prudence to manage our resources in a way that all forms of corruption will be replaced with valuable policies.
The mode of exploitation and greed in managing these resources have often led to strife, not only between different ethnic and regional groups, but also within communities.
What hardship anybody is going through, ease will come. Things will come and things will be better. Let's continue tightening our belts and keep on praying and believing that Almighty, who brought us into the world, will never allow us to suffer.
Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, says there are so many angles to examining this issue.
Be very open, be very frank. When you do that, you help the government a lot.
Other guests and resource persons in their presentations advocated stock-taking, transparent and inclusive resource management, job creation, strengthening of security measures, environmental protection, and addressing of moral crisis. In Abuja, Ogochkuka Ona, NTA News.
Now, Senator Monday Okpebolo assumed office as the 6th executive governor of Edo State on the 12th of November 2024 with a promise to make life more meaningful for the people of Edo State. Are there indications that he has started walking the talk? Goodluck Enaine brings us the situation report 21 days after change of reins of leadership of the state.
Senator Monday Okpebolo hit the ground running in actualizing his 5-point agenda as enshrined in his party, the All Progressive Congress, manifestos beginning with an assessment of roads which are of high economic value, particularly the Aduawa Upper Mission Extension Road and the Ekpoma Benin Road unpassable in the last 8 years.
Today, Ishan people, Edo people, we are all happy. We thank God for our president. We thank God for what he's doing for our people.
For past 8 years, we have been suffering.
Where?
No road, not at least motor. There was some trailer. They will spend 2 weeks here. They will not move. At least this is a good development.
He has also inspected schools under the Edo Best initiative operating in poor environment with few teachers and teaching aides and directed their immediate upgrade.
You can see the sorry situation of Edo Best and our Edo schools. So we are here. We have to bring back the hope. We first of all find this school because people are encouraging to the school. Then we are rebuilding the school, making sure that it will be habitable for our children to learn.
We pray that they should spring into action so that the school can become alive again.
The school, even though many parents, they don't carry their children come up for the school.
Governor Okpebolo is in a hurry to make healthcare accessible and affordable in a safe facility. To this end, he has taken urgent steps to correct the construction defects at Stella Obasanjo Hospital. Efforts to lay a solid foundation towards his administration's success have started yielding results as Asset Recovery Committee has received 30 vehicles from officials in the immediate past administration. In Benin, Goodluck Enaine, NTA News.
We're now having Goodluck Enaine standing by live in Benin to give us more insights on the activities of the new government. Well, Goodluck, how are you doing? Now, I'm aware that Governor Monday Okpebolo has taken steps to stem the tide of arbitrary increase in prices of goods and services. Can you tell us more about this? What is happening?
Yes. When the governor came into power, the first thing he did was that he went through the list he has. And one of the complaints that he received from the citizens when he was campaigning was that of arbitrary price increase in most of the markets. And this has to do with the unions who operate in these various markets. So what he did was to place a ban on the activities of the unions. And now market women and buyers, both buyers and sellers, are in a happy mood. They are grateful to the governor for the steps taken to at least bring down this anomaly. And secondly, Mr. Governor has also visited the judgment delivered by the past administration, the action taken on the Ambrose Ali University, where some of the lecturers were sacked as a result of the investigation carried out there. And the governor, following the antecedents of the issue, now discovered that, look, something has to be done. So he has so far reinstated the sacked lecturers. And this is a plus for the governor as far as he is concerned. Then coming down to the judiciary, just yesterday, the state governor sworn in 3 judges who were excluded from the swearing-in of 5 judges by the last administration in May this year. That, again, happened to be a plus to the state government. And finally, he has also reinstated the powers of the Oba of Benin, which was depleted by the former administration, setting up the Benin Traditional Council in some of the local government areas in Edo South. But this governor, what he did was to abrogate that move and now reinstate the powers fully to the Oba of Benin.
Well, thank you so much. Good luck. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us. Now moving on, Katsina State government has unveiled plans to revamp 10-megawatt wind farm in Lamba Rimi after nearly 2 decades of non-function. The state governor, Dr. Diko Umaru, made this known during a meeting with Virginet Group, the original equipment manufacturers. Dr. Rada said the government is committed to working closely with the company to rehabilitate this vital asset and restore its capacity to support the state's growing energy needs. The governor states that his administration remains dedicated to ensuring its stability and sustainable operation in line with Nigeria's Renewable Energy Master Plan and the 2060 net zero goals. Similarly, the state government has also signed a memorandum of understanding with a French-based company to expand access to sustainable electricity. The state governor, Diko Umaru Rada, CON, and the special advisor to the governor on power and energy, Hafiz Ibrahim Ahmed, signed the MOU following critical engagement with development partners and industry experts. In line with these objectives, Governor Rada reviewed plans to establish a mini hydroelectric power station as part of a pilot project focused on providing reliable and renewable energy to local communities and to serve as a model for future hydroelectric developments across the state's 43 dams. Governor Rada maintained that the pilot project located in Danja Dam is designated to provide energy to critical local infrastructure, including irrigation systems, a water treatment plant, small and medium-scale enterprises, and households. We now take you to Benin, where Comfort is standing by with more reports. To Enugu, rather, where Comfort is standing by with more reports.
Welcome to Enugu Network Center. Enugu State government has launched the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem with a promise to continue to appreciate and support the sacrifice and roles the veterans played in protecting and fostering unity in the country. Chika Ugu reports that the event kickstart activities outlined for the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day celebration.
The Armed Forces Celebration and Remembrance Day is an annual event to remember and appreciate members of the armed forces still serving and the fallen heroes who died in line of duty. Many of these veterans are faced with life challenges, sick, bedridden, and unable to fend for their families, while families of the dead struggle to make a living. Reason for the event to appreciate and support them. Acknowledging the immense role the members of the armed forces have played in protecting and uniting the country, the governor, who reiterated his administration's commitment to strengthen security in the state, promised to explore ways to assist the Nigerian Legion. He also made financial donation to launch the emblem with a promise to implement other interventions.
What we've tried to do in the last convenient and comfortable, creating access to quality service to every citizen, whether they have served the way you serve, whether they are not serving, whether they serve in other capacities.
Earlier, the chairman, Nigerian Legion, Enugu State Council, offered the Legion's services in the fight against insecurity and partnership in other areas of interest.
Our men are well trained and highly disciplined. Many of them were instructors with rare knowledge and have attended specialized military courses that will be of great benefit to the government's efforts in putting in place functional security in Enugu State.
Goodwill messages and financial support came from representatives of the Nigerian Army, Air Force, Enugu Correctional Center, Traditional Rulers Association, and some other government functionaries. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Committed to achieving a more accountable police institution by improving citizens' knowledge on human rights, formed the crux of the town hall meeting organized by the Rule of Law and Empowerment Initiative in Enugu. Chika Okorie reports that participants were drawn from the media, civil society organizations, and people living with disabilities.
Nigeria's policing system has witnessed lots of challenges ranging from corruption to abuse of power, among others. To address the observed gap, a women-led non-governmental organization, Crescent Partners West Africa Nigeria, is in 5 states apart from Enugu and Federal Capital Territory Abuja, educating citizens on human rights, Police Act 2020, and police regulations.
We have decided, with the support of Foreign Commonwealth Development Office, to carry out this. So this is deepening the understanding of the people on the Police Act 2020 amended and its regulation.
Although the Police Act 2020 prohibits the use of money to obtain bail, gender discrimination, and arrest in lieu, the force has the discretionary power to apply force in the interest of public peace.
And what we are doing here today is part of the effort for people to know their rights, that when you have that encounter with the police, there are certain things that the law does not allow the police to do to you.
Some participants who queried the implementation of the new act said the word force in police should be replaced with service.
So this workshop or seminar is apt so that people will get enlightened. So many people don't know their left from their right.
This kind of gathering provides us an opportunity to ventilate on those things and find out that there are so many things to be addressed.
Considering the level of awareness created at this town hall meeting, it is expected that the participants will henceforth be more equipped to guide against human rights violations, often exhibited by some police officers who allegedly compromise the act, establishing their mode of operation at the expense of others or the people. In Enugu, Chika Okorie, NTA News.
And that's a contribution from Enugu Network Center. Taking a break now to return to Abuja thereafter to join us again.
Well, thank you for staying with us. As part of activities to mark the 25th year anniversary, the National Hospital Abuja has reached out to its host community, Karmajiji, in the FCT with the provision of free medical services to enhance their health status and improve their living standards. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports.
Karmajiji as a community is hosting more than 15,000 people.
For more than 3 decades, Karmajiji community handed over a portion of land to the management of the then Mariam Abacha Mother and Child Hospital, now National Hospital Abuja. Today, some of the community members decry the accessibility of the first-class medical care, describing it as exorbitant.
If you are coming from airport, is Karmajiji the last community before the villa? So I believe that if there is anything good coming from National Hospital, Karmajiji community should be the first priority.
To this end, the National Hospital Abuja has not forgotten its host community with the best of medical care at no cost.
The National Hospital is a part of a community. So even though you deal with patients every day, you impact positively on the lives every day, but there are times when you need to reach out to the community itself to really see the diseases there, to assist them, and to also foster collaboration and harmonious relationship between the institution and the community.
Well, my hope that people will have greater access by route of health insurance, so that people will be able to afford health care.
This is part of activities marking the hospital's 25th year anniversary, hoping to sustain this gesture for the benefit of humanity. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Now, towards enhancing food security, the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning has brought together stakeholders from the northwest and northeast in Kano for a biannual progress assessment in transforming food systems in Nigeria. The assessment meeting, which is being attended by policymakers, agricultural experts and community leaders, focused on strategies for boosting food production, tackling food insecurity and enhancing rural livelihoods. Now let's have details from Shehu Adamu.
Sessions centered on leveraging modern technology and sustainable farming practices to improve agricultural yields while addressing challenges such as climate change and insecurity.
If all state of federation can invest in food system, then agriculture will be enhanced, agricultural productivity will be enhanced, then processing and industrial good will be enhanced, transportation, which will take then the market system will be developed.
During the assessment, Kano State was chosen as a case where the government has been working to build resilient food systems and ensure that no community in the state is left behind in the fight against hunger and malnutrition.
Here in Kano, we understand the importance of empowering farmers through knowledge and skills, and this project will enable us to expand the impact of our extension officers across the state.
Participants emphasized the need for tailored solutions, increased investment in rural infrastructure.
You have laid a solid foundation for the institutionalization of food system transformation pathway in Nigeria.
We want to see to what extent the two regions have been involved in the implementation, to see what challenges there are, areas of possible support in future to enhance the effective implementation.
The stakeholders also expressed commitment to fulfilling their responsibilities and contributing effectively to the initiative.
Now, this is where Nationwide ends. Thank you so much for being a part of it. My name is Justin Bemu. You do have a wonderful evening.